Hey friend, if you're new here, I'm Tara. I'm a board certified dermatologist with a special interest in skin of color. Today, I want to share something a little more personal, how I got here and why I do what I do. Growing up, I've always loved science, skincare, and beauty. It wasn't until I went with one of my very close friends to her dermatology appointment that I realized that there was a field that encompassed all the things that I liked. So by high school, I knew I wanted to become a doctor. And then from there, it was only a matter of how to achieve that goal. I went to Baylor for undergrad. They have a really good pre-med track. And while I was at orientation, I had visited a booth, the business school booth, where they had a program where you can get a business degree while still completing your pre-med prerequisites. And I thought, hey, that sounds great. I think I might want to open my own practice as my father is an entrepreneurial. My grandfather started his own business. So we just have that entrepreneurial spirit. So I said, hey, you know what? That's something that I could probably utilize in my future. I realized that majoring in biology wasn't really going to add more to my application in terms of the foundation of information that I need to get to med school, especially if I was going to go ahead and complete the pre-med prerequisites. So 2-for-1 combination, business degree and entrepreneurship, my pre-med prerequisites. So if you are in undergrad and you are struggling with majoring in a science major like biology, chemistry, anatomy, blah, 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 woo, 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 pull over. Do something, dare to be different. Choose a major where you're going to be more well-rounded. I felt like I would get enough anatomy, biology, physiology in medical school. So I was like, hey, let me immerse myself in something that would be advantageous for me in the future. Yeah, you don't have to major in biology to become a doctor. So from my undergrad, I was able to apply to medical school. And because I'm from Texas, we have our own little medical school like match system, and I matched into the University of Texas medical branch in Galveston. Had a blast. I love that they had I love that I had the ability to watch lectures at home. I was a very self-paced learner. I like to do things on my own time. And I felt like that was a great kind of combination to help me really, really try to achieve my goals. So in medical school, I knew I wanted to become a dermatologist, but that's not something I would proclaim or shout from the mountaintops because a lot of people have insecurities, which they try to project on you. That has nothing to do with me and where I'm going. So dermatology is a very, very competitive field. It's one of the road specialties, roads being radiology, orthopedics, anesthesia, and dermatology because of their work-life balance and compensation. Let me talk a little bit more about why I wanted to pursue medicine. So I knew I wanted to be a doctor. One of my biology classes in high school, I had a blast, and my teacher was very encouraging, and she was like, hey, you're really kind of good at this, so you should, give this a little bit more thought. So I knew I wanted to be a doctor. I just didn't know what type. Initially, I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician because everyone loves kids because they're cute, I guess. But this kind of ties into when I went with one of my friends to her dermatology appointment, and I didn't even know that dermatologists existed. I suffered from acne when I was younger. And I went to my family medicine doctor. I went to my pediatrician to treat my acne. I didn't go to a dermatologist. So I didn't even know that they existed until I went with my friend to her dermatology appointment. And I said, oh, there's doctors that look like they're not stressed. I do enjoy that. And it relates to the skin. So that kind of piqued my interest. I went home and I did a bunch of research on the different specialties in medicine. And that's how I stumbled upon road specialties. And I felt like, okay, that's a little bit of me. I'm going to try to pursue that. So I knew I had to go to an undergrad with a good pre-med track. And that's how I found myself at Baylor. So now we are in undergrad. We have applied to medical school. We matched into medical school. And I wanted to make sure that I matched into a school that had a dermatology department that will just give you better positioning when it's time to apply for dermatology. So in medical school, again, I did not proclaim, I didn't shout from the rooftop, I didn't put, a sticker on my chest stating that I wanted to do derm. That was my business and my business alone. If like my close friends knew, my study group knew, but it's not something that I want to go around like proclaiming to everyone, again, because of people's projections, insecurity. And yeah, so in medical school, I definitely made sure to study very, very hard for step one, because that is it, or it was a screening test in terms of applications, especially for very competitive fields. So they use it as a screener. I studied my ass off for that test. I studied my ass off for that test. What did I even get? Let me see if I can remember what I got. I think it was like a 253. So yeah, I studied my ass off. I said, kill tits, period. Medical school is so traumatic. I don't even remember the fine details. So yeah, I studied really hard for step two, did a lot of self-study, self-paced studying. That's just the nature of how I learn. I like a lot of questions, repetition, and lectures like at 2 speed. That way I can save my time. And then I applied to dermatology. I applied to every single position available. It was very expensive, but that's what we have loans for, even though they're trying to cap them. Yeah, I think I got about 7 interviews and I matched into the University of Arkansas for medical sciences in Little Rock, Arkansas, in the South. So I'm a Texas girl. It wasn't too much of a difference being in Little Rock. I honestly felt like Little Rock was just a little tinier version kind of Houston. There wasn't much adjusting that I needed to do, honestly. The weather was the same. The people were from the South. So there wasn't really much adjusting that I needed to do. Now, when it comes to residency, half of my residency, or more than half of my residency, was during COVID, the worst time of my life. But we're just going to move past. I think everyone had a bad time, honestly. But yeah, residency wasn't terrible. It's still residency. My first year was, I was in a categorical program. So the first year was in internal medicine, the worst year of my entire life. I hated it. I hate internal medicine. And then after that, the rest was dermatology. Yeah, it was okay. It was residency. It's not the grandest time of my life, but it was a means to an end. How about that? That's like the short of the journey. So by high school, I knew I wanted to become a doctor. I knew I wanted to become a dermatologist. In undergrad, I knew I wanted to, and from there, I just kind of positioned myself to make sure I was in the best position to match into dermatology. And yeah, we made it happen. Dreams do come true. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do anything, especially if you are a Black woman trying to get into dermatology. It's one of the least diverse fields in medicine. And yeah, we need more Black women dermatologists and men, honestly. So if you have an inkling for like, it's not just skincare, guys, it's more than that. If I were to show you the two Bologna, it's got volume one, volume two. It's a major book that we read in residency. It's huge, huge. And the font's probably like 8 or 10. And we read it every year. So it's a lot of studying. Dermatology, even though people feel like, oh, dermatology is an easy residency, it's not. It's not. All residencies are hard. I don't care what specialty you're going into. And with dermatology, there's a lot of reading, a lot of reading. There's keratins, there's syndromes. You have to learn the basal layer. You have to learn the layers of the skin and the names. It's just but a lot of stuff. But it was a means to an end, and I love what I do every day. So that was the kind of short spiel of my journey to dermatology. If you guys have any specific questions or advice, drop them in the comments. Let's have some, chats going. I would love, 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 love to help anyone that's interested in pursuing a field or a career in dermatology. I have mentees all over the place that reach out to me for advice. I'm always willing to answer any questions and try to help them navigate this kind of very, very almost like this very, very competitive field to match into. So yeah, I did dermatology to treat people that look like me. people that look like me. I want to treat you. If you look like me, that's why I went into dermatology. And this is why I started my virtual dermatology practice, to expand my reach. A lot of people, there's not enough Black women dermatologists for the demand that exists, and not everyone can drive to where I'm physically located. So virtual dermatology just makes it easier in terms of access, and it's a visual field. So a lot of things can be done virtually, as I only need my eyes to see what's going on and to hopefully make a diagnosis. So if you're struggling with acne, dark spots, hair loss, eczema, anything related to the hair, skin, or nails, and you are a Texas resident, I'd love to help you. You can book a virtual appointment or a skincare product consultation via the link below. So yeah, thanks for listening to my story, and let's glow together.